Okay, today we'll go over property preservation, independent contractor relationship. This is a pretty hot topic here in property preservation and with Preservation Watch. Question, are you a contractor or are you an employee? Why it matters. Employers must maintain work comp insurance. Employers must pay in unemployment insurance. Employers must contribute to Social Security. Employers must provide materials and safety equipment for the job. Employers must reimburse for work-related expenses, fuel at the IRS reimbursement rate of 56 cents a mile. Employers must notify you of known hazards and protect you from them. Employers must follow OSHA guidelines. Employers must pay minimum wage and overtime. Employers cannot charge back or punish an employee financially. And what this means is if an employee does damage or doesn't do their job right, you can't withhold their pay for that time. Like say you want to take an hour's worth of pay from them because they didn't do something right. You can't do that. And they could file a lawsuit against you with the Department of Labor, and the Department of Labor will join that lawsuit because you're violating fair labor standards. So, you know, that's one of the big things that this training is going to talk about is, you know, the independent contractor relationship and the employee. What does this get them? The right to set your wage and work hours. For violation of rules. The right to provide work instructions for how the work must be completed. The right to require work holidays and weekends. The right to reduce work hours for rule violations. The right to make decisions about control of work. The right to exercise behavioral control of the business. Sets their own wage. Provides their own materials for the job and can be reimbursement of expenses, maintains their own comp, is not disciplined as an employee, and is free to terminate a contract without punishment. Some of these companies say, look guys, you know, I'm not going to work for you anymore, or you know, whatever, for whatever reason you terminate that contract. For example, Taylor and Sons withhold funds for 60 days after that, and then MCS does the same thing for up to 90 days. So they do punish your terminated contract because they basically take away your, you know, ability to maintain your business. You know, terminate your contract, your terminated contract, chances are you're probably already owed money and not getting paid, or you're tired of the bullshit about every day about your money or whatever. And contractor does not work instructions to use their expertise to complete the task. This was a big one we had with a company one time that did not want to pay for roof repairs and argued. I filed a complaint, went with the city building inspector out to the property, and we looked at it, a copy of a roofing license, and the city issued an opinion to us and stated that the work was completed within building code guidelines. We're licensed. Get this back going here. Had a little issue with the connection, so I'll go ahead and pick back up where I was. So anyways, the city said we were right. The company that stated they weren't going to pay for the roof repair They also were told by the city that they weren't allowed to do work in that city because they weren't licensed for the work, and thought that it was odd that a company that was unlicensed would question a licensed company's ability to perform the work. So that's something important in there. And when we get to talking about what the IRS looks at, this is an important thing. You know, you're told to tarp a roof, and you're told what color tarp to use. You know, an independent contractor would not be told what color tarp to use. They may be told to tarp the roof, but that's specifying behavioral control. That's specifying control of the job like an employer would do, to be able to do that. You know, it's like if you go out and you run your business and you cut your grass one way, and then somebody comes out and says, you need to cut it this way, you know, and and you cut the grass this way, they're giving you work instructions at that point. They're starting to maintain control of your business. So something to look out for. They must pay their own taxes. Why it matters. An independent contractor is an entrepreneur who has started their own business. An independent contractor works independent. Companies try to claim an independent contractor status to avoid their employer responsibilities. So what is property preservation considered? Common law rules. This is what the IRS looks at. Behavioral. Does the company control or have the right control what the worker does and how the worker does his or her job? Color of tarp. When to have the job completed. What must be completed? I would say those meet the requirements. Financial. Are the business aspect of the worker's job controlled by the payer? Yes. Type of relationship. Are there written contracts or employee type benefits? Will the relationship continue, and is work performed a key aspect of the business? Yes. What to do if you think you are an employee of a property preservation company? File Form SS-8, and you can Google that right online. It's a 4-page report, pretty simple to fill out. You send that to the IRS, and they make a decision. Does it work? This first one here, courtesy of Forbes. FedEx settles independent contractor mislabeling case for $228 million. Uber, $100 million. And closer to home, this is Bowerman versus Field Asset Services, and we give away a free copy of this opinion here if you guys go to our website at preservationwatch.com. It is extremely important to evaluate your relationship as you are assuming several employer responsibilities. Why do employers claim independent contractor relationships? To avoid work comp, to avoid paying overtime, to avoid paying for personal protective equipment, and to avoid paying taxes. Running a business costs money, but it costs even more when you do it right.